Yes, you can get paid to travel the world as a musician, and here's exactly how it works. I'm Lara, a piano vocalist with 4 years of experience on cruise ships, 8 contracts and 3 different cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean. I've had direct conversations with agents, and I'm now helping musicians navigate this process. In this video, we're gonna be covering real salary numbers, what the job actually looks like day to day, and the exact steps to apply. By the end of the video, you'll know if this path is actually realistic for you and what you actually need to do to get hired. There's one thing that agents look for that almost nobody prepares, and it's not your audition video. Most musicians think that they're not good enough, but the real reason applications fail is something else entirely. So you might be wondering, how much money do musicians on cruise ships actually make? So first, what you need to know is there are different positions as musicians. As a solo performer, you can expect to get between $2,000 to $4,000 per month minimum. And of course, as you're living on the cruise ship, the accommodation, the meals are included, and there's not much to pay apart from the Wi-Fi. If you are working as a musician as part of the orchestra, the show band, or even in a party band, usually you're going to be making less money than the solo performers, as you'll have to split the salary of the whole band among the members. And so not only this salary is not too bad in my opinion, but it also is way higher than it actually sounds, because you have nothing to pay, no rent, no groceries. And so let's talk about what the job actually looks like on a normal night when you are working as a musician on cruise ships. So for example, I'm a piano bar entertainer, and in all my contracts, I would start working at around 8 p.m. I would finish at around 12. So I would play 3 to 4 times, 45 minutes. And I'd be doing this every day and just have 1 day off per week on average. And it's really interesting because at the very beginning, when I started working on cruise ships, I really thought I was playing concerts. I was playing for people and that people would be here to listen to me, and that's it. And as I started doing American contracts with big crowds who expect to be entertained, I understood I had to host a party and not just be the performer who is pretty and plays well, right? And that big shift made me understand about how to be a good performer on cruise ships. And I think it really represents what agents are looking for and what the job is actually like when you work as a musician on cruise ships. It's not so much about you and your performance in the same way as if you're performing in the theater as a big headliner, for example, people are going to come to see you, they're going to be coming to watch, right? But when you're a musician, I feel like you're really expected to, like if you want to be a good musician on cruise ships, you really have to put yourself out there, you really have to be interactive, to engage with the audience and to get them to enjoy themselves and to have a party. And so I think it's a big mindset shift for a lot of musicians, where it's not like, oh, I'm going to be playing my music, I'm going to, you know, even though you might at some point on the ship, but it's more like, okay, how can I make these people who are on the ship have an amazing experience? How can I get them to have a huge party? And in this sense, it becomes a job. It's not just like, I'm just going to play my songs and see if people like it or not. It's like every day you're showing up at a bar, you're showing up in the same place. A lot of the time it's going to be the same people on the same cruise, and you're really expected to put yourself out there and to do whatever is in your power for them to have a good night, for them to enjoy themselves. And so that will also reflect in the repertoire that you play. So you might be wondering who actually gets hired on these cruise ships. I know it might seem like a crazy world when you're not used to it. And so first of all, the musicians who get hired are usually the musicians who have already worked on cruise ships, but there are lots of first-timers who also get hired, and these are the ones who understand the requirements of the job. They understand that they have to lead with a big song list. You need to have at least 150 songs in your repertoire. You need to be able to send that to the agencies straight away when you first apply, and your video, your promo video needs to reflect what is expected on cruise ships as well. So musicians who get hired are the ones who understand these requirements at first, and they're also performers who have experience, who have done some gigs at least on land, who have had audience interaction and who were able to show this in their video. And the crazy thing about it, especially in the world of music where sometimes we're stressed striving to get so much better at technique, at what we're doing. But for these kind of jobs, whether it's cruise ships or even like hotels or, corporate events, these kind of things, what matters more is professionalism and interaction with the audience, way more than if you're playing good technique or whatever. I've seen so many times musicians who are not the most amazing musicians technically, but they're really good at what they do. They get hired and they are so loved by the guests on board just because they understood it's not so much about them, it's not about the crowd watching them perform, it's more about them creating an environment for people to have fun. And ultimately when agents see these kind of performers, these kind of musicians, they want to hire them. And so what you need is really not like classical training or anything like this. It doesn't matter how many diplomas or how many years you've been studying your instrument. What matters is that you have a big repertoire so that you don't always play the same songs. And the second thing is the ability to read a room super fast and to adapt the way you are playing to the room. Hey, if right now you're thinking, I would love to get to know more about this path, maybe I could be a cruise ship musician, maybe I could travel the world and save money and get so much experience as a musician on cruise ships, I built something for you specifically for that. It's a course called How to Become a Cruise Ship Musician, and it teaches you everything you need to know from being a musician on land to actually getting your first contract on board. I've put everything I know from my 4 years of experience on cruise ships, as well as the direct conversations I've had with agencies. And so this course is primarily for solo performers like piano vocalists or guitar vocalists, and partially for duos, trios, or bands who are also interested to get on cruise ships. The link is in the description if you want to go and have a look. Now let's talk about the part that most people completely miss when they start applying for cruise ship gigs. So we talked a little bit about the salary, about what it's like on board, and now you might be wondering, how do I even apply? Who do I reach out to? What do I send them? And so in this world, you're not really going to apply to cruise lines straight away because they basically delegate this recruitment to agencies that are specifically hiring in entertainment. And so your job will be to go and find these agencies and to pitch them, to send them your stuff the right way so that you can stand out to them. The thing is that a lot of the time they're getting dozens of applications per day, and so the job will really be to send the right stuff so that you can stand out from all these other musicians. And so for the solo position or the duo, trios or bands position, it's not going to be a traditional audition. What really matters is your show reel, so a promotional video, as well as your song list and your resume. And so within all these things, you really need to show all the things that are required so that the agents can think, hey, that's a performer I really want to send out to cruise lines, and so that the cruise lines can say, yes, we want to hire that musician. And now you might be wondering, is this job actually worth doing? Is it a good deal? Is it actually a dream job, or is it not that good? And my advice from my experience is that yes, it is completely worth doing, but of course it depends on your situation. If you already have lots of land gigs that are really good, if you have a partner, if you're in a relationship that you don't want to leave, if you are really settled and that your life really matters to you on land, that might not be the best move for you. However, if you're in a job you hate and you really want to go and travel the world and become a professional musician, like step up from where you are to actually becoming professional, and so that when you come back after cruise ships, you can have other opportunities. This is literally what happened for me. I was not professional, I was struggling to get gigs, and because I had this cruise ship experience, when I came back to land, I was standing out from all the other musicians who were trying to get gigs in hotels and in different venues. So I would really recommend to do it if you want to get the professional experience, if you want to get the traveling, if you want to save money. All of these are really good reasons to even just do one contract, because it will open you up to so many other things, so many different places, so many different people. And playing 3 or 4 hours a night is not the kind of experience you're going to get anywhere else. And so just getting this experience, and sometimes performing when you don't really feel like it, will really make you such a better musician and such a better performer. However, I wouldn't recommend doing this forever. I think there's a time to get back to reality and think, okay, let's build something else. At least it was the case for me, because I also see a lot of people who stay on cruise ships for way longer than they wanted, and it can get a little addictive in this sense, especially because there's nothing to pay, you're taken care of, and you're well paid. And so I would recommend doing it for a while, as much as you want to do it, of course, but also planning for coming back and building a life on land after these amazing experiences. I truly think this opportunity can change your life as a musician, and so I would definitely recommend it for any musicians out there, even the most professional ones, because again, the kind of experience that it is to perform and to work and to live on a cruise ship is not comparable to anything else. And so if you are really interested, I just want to tell you that your barrier is not talent, it's probably just knowing how this world works and how to have the confidence that you can start applying and start taking the steps towards getting a first contract with full confidence. And so if this is you, the course will be really interesting for you. You can go and check it out. It's just right down below. It's currently at launch price for the first 20 enrollments, so do not miss your chance if you are interested. I post videos like this about jobs on cruise ships and how to apply every single week. And so if you are interested, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And so I'd be really curious to know if you've ever thought about working on cruise ships, or is this the first time you're considering it? Feel free to let me know in the comments. I read all of them and I will reply to you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.